Hi and welcome to the first part of the 10 Things About Me series. So, I already got 5 questions from you. Question 1. The question was posed in French, but I'm gonna translate it afterwards. Comment as-tu eu le déclic de te lancer dans la reprise de musique? J'aimerais bien faire pareil que toi, mais quoique un peu différent. Mettre ma voix sur les instrumentales. So, I would translate it as, what made you want to start doing cover songs? I would like to do the same, but a little bit different, putting my voice in instrumentals. Well, I always like to do cover songs, but mostly I did it just to learn things about making music, how others compose songs, make their structure and so on. And sometimes I thought, well, this song could be nice in a different arrangements. But I never took this too serious until later. The idea to make cover songs on YouTube came to me when I discovered Pelly K's metal covers. I mean, I saw he's quite successful with it, and yeah, I thought this may be a good way to get discovered, maybe easier than with original songs, because people know the songs already and may be interested to listen to them in a different style. The second question. Do you have any sort of dream car? Being a Eurobeat artist, there must be some sort of car you always desired. First generation Twingo, of course. No. I really like the Twingo, but of course this is more of a meme thing. Maybe I should explain to those who aren't that much into... It is a meme thing that I discovered in Initial D groups, basically. There was a kind of meme with a picture of a Twingo on it, and it said, "You have been visited by the Twingo of happiness, blah blah blah." I don't know the text exactly, but in the end you had to write "Merci Twingo" to get some sort of cool stuff. I don't know. Of course it was bollocks, but... yeah, so the first generation Twingo really became popular amongst those Initial D groups. Yeah, and then I decided to make a song of it. Why not? The cars I really do admire are mostly sports cars. It's really impossible to choose one dream car for me because there are so many cars I like. But when it comes to new cars, I think it's a bit easier to choose because there aren't as many good sports cars now as there were in the past. So for a new car, I'd go with the new Alpine A110. I mean, it's a lightweight car, it has a mid-engine, but it still has much of the comfort a modern day car has, so... And I like the looks of it. And it's not as common as a Porsche, so yeah, I think if I could afford it, this would be my car, yeah. So for the moment, I drive a BMW E46, a 330 diesel. For me, it's the best compromise at the moment for a car that is fun to drive and economical at the same time. So the third question is not so much a question about me, but rather about the Eurobeat scene in general. The question is, what do you think about nowadays Eurobeat scene, and in what direction do you think this genre will go? So, first of all, I don't think there is one coherent Eurobeat scene, but it's rather split into several sub-scenes. There's the para scene, of course. I don't have much to do with that scene because I don't dance. Maybe this is the largest scene nowadays, it's the Initial D and the memes scene. And that scene, people basically know the most famous Initial D songs and that's it. Then there's a really small scene of pure music admirers. There are those people who collect every new super Eurobeat and also releases by independent artists. And then there's the scene of independent Eurobeat producers. And of course there are some overlaps too. So yeah, it's not easy to reach all those people because they're already split in some sub-scenes, and this is what makes it difficult to tell in what direction it will go, because I think it really depends on the independent artists now. If they will be able to get especially the Initial D and meme scene to listen to their stuff as well. I mean, there is a lot of potential, but the question is how can we as independent artists grab the attention of those people? And maybe also the attention of people who weren't into Eurobeat before. And that's basically why I do this cover song stuff. Because maybe people who didn't know about Eurobeat yet will discover a cover song of a song they like and say, oh well, that sounds nice. I want to hear more of that. Question number 4. What are the top 5 things you're scared of? Haha. The first one may seem a bit ridiculous, but I'm really scared of balloons. I think it's some kind of childhood trauma, because I always cried when they exploded. Yeah, but other kids thought it was funny to make me cry. So whenever I see a kid playing with a balloon, I just want to go away. The more serious thing I'm scared of is losing control. It's really hard for me when I can't control a situation. Yeah, when I'm thrown into it. That's, for example, a reason why I don't like public speaking. So I hope that this vlogging here really will help me a bit to improve. Yeah. So the next one may be obvious now. It's making phone calls. I totally can't do that. I only can do that when I know the person I call very well, but if I don't know the person, if it's anything formal, I can't do that at all. Another thing that scares me are nopes. And with nopes I mean fluttering insects. I mean, they do have a right to live as well, but not anywhere near me, please. And yeah, the last thing would be depression and panic attacks. I already went through that and I don't want to go through that again. I don't know if you ever experience panic attacks, but it can be really, really scary. You don't know anymore what happens in your body. Sometimes it feels like a heart attack, and no, this is really something I don't want to experience ever again. And the last question for today is, talk about your favorite artists in the next video. Just name a few. I really have a lot of favorite artists, so it's not easy to pick just a few, so I decided to pick some artists which I really consider as milestones, and I will go through them in chronological order. So I think the first really important group in my life were the Beatles. I remember as a child I watched the film Yellow Submarine over and over again, and I listened to their music a lot, and I must say I always preferred their later stuff, when they went more in a progressive direction. Also, when I was still a child, a French folk group called Malicorne was really important for me. And I must say, folk, especially progressive folk, is still one of my favorite music styles of all. Then a bit later came a German group called Die Ärzte. Generally I don't like German as a language for music, but I think they did a quite good job. So then after Die Ärzte came another French artist, he's called Renaud. I discovered him when I was around 12 years old, and it was when I began to learn French in school. But I also liked his music without understanding the lyrics. Then in 1997, I think, I discovered The Prodigy. And yeah, they showed me a different approach to making electronic music. I already knew Eurodance and some techno stuff, but The Prodigy was a whole different thing, with all those breakbeats and yeah. And then, being 14 years old, I think it started, I really got an obsession with the French group Indochine, especially with their early stuff. And it's still one of my favorite groups nowadays. I don't know how to describe it, but there's something, especially in their old songs, there's really some kind of magic in their songs. And yeah, that was a quite long phase where I mostly listened to 80s music and Indochine. I also became a great fan of Adam and the Ants. And I must say their lyrics also helped me a lot to gain more confidence, especially Prince Charming. And then in 2003 I discovered Italo Disco, and I totally fell in love with that, especially with laser dance. And shortly after that I also discovered Manowar, which is for me the greatest metal group ever. Yeah, and the last milestone was the discovery of Symphony X. I remember I listened to some internet radio where they played the whole song The Odyssey, which is 24 minutes long. And yeah, I thought it sounds a bit like Ingrid Malmsteen, but with harmonies from modern classical music. And yeah, that was a great discovery for me. There are so many other artists I like, and I think there will be still some that will surprise you. So maybe you'll discover that in the future. So, those were the 5 questions for today. If there are other things you want to know, ask me in the comments. See you next time!